Right. All right, I'm going to go through yours first. So
Okay.
just going to try and turn the sound down as well. Where can I find the sound? Don't really want the sound on the videos. Be better. Right, so guys, do you do these RDLs, Romanian deadlifts?
Years.
Yeah. Keith and Jane, you're on mute.
No, we don't do them.
Right, so just for your benefit, this is a kind of deadlift, and it's basically focusing primarily on your hamstrings. So
Real quick thing. Are you recording tonight? Because I don't see the recording.
I am, yes.
Time.
I am.
Just because I
Yeah.
didn't see.
Yeah. I'm going to record it on Zoom as well, just in case the Loom record doesn't work. Right, we're recording on both. So as we go through these videos, please just jump in and speak if you've got questions, if you're not sure what the exercise is for. I mean, for the benefit of the person who is sent it in, we'll go over it. But if people who are also sitting watching and you're wondering what's going on, like please just shout up and we'll give you more detail. So what I can see here, Clara, is you're going down nice and slowly on the negative part of the rep. You're not pushing with your knees. You're sticking your bum out. You're keeping your back nice and straight, slightly arched. That actually looks perfect, if I'm honest. I can't fault that one bit. You go nice and slowly on the way down, and then you're springing back up nice and quickly. So I think they're good. I think they're really good.
Thank you.
10 stars. There you go. Anyone got any comments on that? Do we know what we're doing? Or basically, as you're lowering the weight down, you're letting your hamstrings lengthen. So your hamstrings are taking all the tension as you're slowly going down. The further you go down, if you keep your back straight and arched and you stick your bum out, it just pulls your hamstrings even further to a really tight stretch. And then it's your hamstrings that are pulling that straightens your body up on the way back up. So it is primarily a hamstring exercise. Mike could have done with being on the call because he does these and he gets a sore lower back, which is why I want to see how he does them. But honestly, Clara, they are perfect.
Thank you.
You also did leg press.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what leg press is and how that works. So before I put my comments on, what does anyone else think of these?
We usually come further on down, I think, all the way down when we're doing them.
No, they are going all the way down.
I can't see on this video, it's small. It's on your phone.
So he is actually going
Oh, yeah.
as far down as that machine will allow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All I would say on these, Clara, is because your feet are so high up on the plate, there's only really a bit of tension early on in the rep. So you're bringing your knees down as far as you can, that's fine. You're going right to the bottom. But after about 3 or 4 inches of the movement, there's no more tension left on your legs. So when your legs are going from slightly bent to straight, there's nothing really, because your feet are so high up on the plate, there's no tension there. So that last part of the rep is too easy.
Yeah.
It's almost just like you've already pushed it as far as it will go. Now you're just extending your leg and straightening your leg. locking out. But that going from there to lockout
Mhm.
isn't actually putting any stress on your legs. If you move your heels further down, then your legs or your quads would be under much more tension all the way up to the top of the rep, and it would make it a lot harder. You actually find that you probably might need to drop the weight a little bit, but you'd get a lot more tension in your muscles if you drop your feet further. The only caveat with that is the further you drop your feet, if your ankle mobility is not that great, your heels start to come off the plate. So the ideal position for your feet on a leg press is as low down as possible as you can manage before your heels start to lift off.
Right.
So have a
Okay.
play with that next time, and you'll see the difference. I've got other videos of other people doing leg press, and you'll see what I mean. But if we just
Yeah.
play this one again, you'll see what I mean about when your knees come down to your chest and you start pushing. That's fine, but then you can see the tension just goes very quickly, and the last part of the rep isn't really doing anything. It's just your leg locking out, like that bit there, that last few inches.
Hmm.
It's not really. It's just locking your leg out. There's no weight. There's no load on the muscle. But you would fix that by lowering your feet.
Okay.
Be cautious when you do it. But otherwise, perfect speed. Jamie, let's do yours. Actually, no, since we're on leg press and Jane's in, I've got Jane's leg press. So you can see Jane's feet are quite a bit further down on the plate.
Hmm.
So her knees are flexing much more. So there's more tension on her legs going through more of a full range of motion on this one. Make sense?
Yeah.
And if you went even further down, it would be even more so. So Jane, they're perfect as well. You could try putting your feet a little bit lower,
Okay.
but just be conscious if you go too low, then your heels start to lift up. That's not what you want.
Okay.
I find sometimes that my bum lifts up when I'm in the negative part when my knees are up. I find that my bum lifts up, and I struggle a little bit trying to keep it down. I have to really pull down. Anything I can do to sort of stop that from happening?
For me, you've got to be quite conscious of. I think of a quick tip to not do that. Something you can stop yourself. It comes down to you controlling which parts of your body are moving.
Okay.
And it may just be that you have to grip into the handles and actually sort of pull yourself into the
I
seat.
do. I pull myself in, yeah, and I make sure that my bum doesn't move. But I just wondered if I was doing something wrong. That's all.
Again, just try some different foot positions.
Mhm.
A lower foot position might help that if your feet are quite high and you're coming all the way down. That's going to round your back and bring your bum off the seat as well.
Okay.
Since we're on with Jane, have a look at the seated leg press.
So in this one, will I do the same as well? Do we need to put the feet as lower as possible, like in the other one?
Quiet, quiet. The lower your feet are, the more knee flexion you get. The
Okay.
more, um, what I mean by that is the more your knee will bend. The higher up your feet are, the less your knee will bend.
Hmm.
So the lower your feet are and the more your knees bend, the more load it puts through your quads. And it forces you to have a slightly greater range of motion. The the actual movement of your leg and your knee will get shorter and shorter the higher up your feet are. But again, it just comes down to finding a good balance and get a foot position that works for you. But try them at different heights. You'll feel the difference. If you put them really high, you'll feel it in your glutes and hamstrings more. If you have them really low, you'll feel it in your quads more.
Okay.
Jane, no issue with them at all. I can see that you're going right the way to the bottom of the seat of the, I can see that the weight's touching down on the stack, so you've hit the bottom of it. So nothing wrong with them. I was going to call you out in first rep, Jane, but then you fixed it straight after.
Head leaning forward.
Your shoulders came right forward on the
Yeah.
they're still coming forward a little bit. Whenever you're doing a pressing movement, you should always be trying to pin your shoulders back onto the backrest.
Yeah.
If you're lying down or you're sitting up, you're doing any kind of pressing, pull your shoulders back together and pin them, brace them into the bench, and keep them back. So you see how as you're pushing forward, you're reaching forward, and your
Yeah.
shoulder going forward as well. You want to try and avoid that if you can.
Okay.
So think about it in terms, not just pushing the bar out. You're actually at the same time you're pushing your back
Pushing back.
into the bench.
Yeah.
You're doing both at the same time, and that'll keep your form a bit better. But otherwise, pretty decent. Did you do any more, Jane? Can't remember.
No, I think it was just those three.
Right, let's have a look at Keith then.
Oh,
Which one do you do?
skull crusher.
Oh, yeah.
What do we think?
Good, nice and low, coming down, no?
Top look at them, Keith.
Thank you.
Come on, Brummy son.
You're controlling it on the way down, and you're actually getting slower and slower as you get into the bottom, which is what you want. And then when you get into the bottom, you're bringing it up like quite explosive. So, and your bum's not coming up too much.
Yeah.
It always does a little bit, but you can tell when you're starting to cheat at the end, your bum lifts off.
Yeah.
Was it just the two for you, Keith?
Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So there's two things here that everyone does. The first one is when you go from the starting position, all you really want to be bending here is elbows, nothing else.
Hmm.
So as the weight comes down, it should just be elbows, but actually your whole upper arm
Oh, okay.
from your shoulder to your elbow is starting to rotate back towards your head.
Yeah.
So you're reaching with your arm and not just bending your elbow. And then what you're also doing is, as you're extending the elbow, you come back to the starting position, you're then traveling your whole arm forward even further just to balance it in front of you.
Yeah.
So
I struggle with these. I don't know what it is with my elbows, but I struggle completely with these. Like,
it's okay to let, so if you're going to let your arm go back that far, that's fine, but then keep that bit there.
yeah,
You say your mouse keep there and just extend so that your hand just comes up to here, and
Yeah.
keep the tension on your triceps. Don't bring your whole arm all the way up to vertical, because then basically all you're doing then is you're balancing it, and you're
Yeah.
taking all the tension off. So it's not too bad keeping your arm there, but just extend at the elbow. Don't, when you get to the end of the rep, keep your top half of your arm in the same position.
Mhm.
Rotate the background in front of you just to take the stress off.
Yeah,
Because
that's why I thought I'd show these ones, because like, these are the ones I want to struggle with, and
yeah, you can see you doing
just
it.
get your advice. Yeah.
So you're almost like you're extending it behind you rather
Yeah.
than extending it and then coming round to the front. You don't need to come round to the front. Once it's there, just do it to there.
Right.
You
Got ya.
just go up and down there.
Yeah. Got ya.
You're extending
I'm
and you're
bringing it all the way. I'm doing like a half moon, aren't I?
yeah.
Mm.
And also, I know it's hard, but when you've got your elbows in that position, try and keep them as tight together as you can. Once they start
Yeah.
to flare out too much like that, all the stress is going through your shoulder joint, and it should just be your elbow.
Excellent. No worries.
Which is why it's actually sometimes easier doing this exercise with dumbbells with a neutral grip. So you're there like that, and you can bring
Yeah.
them down, and you can keep your elbows nice and tight.
Right. Would you recommend trying it with dumbbells?
Try them and see what you prefer. The good thing with dumbbells is you can go up more incrementally. Whereas, as we discussed when we were in a session, once you move up from a 15 to a 20 or a 20 to 25, it's quite a big jump.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's also
Sometimes
Jane. It's whether Jane can hold the bar and pass it to me as well, and that's what I was thinking. Because like as I'm moving up the weights, they're getting heavier and heavier.
Well, I've got the same problem. I go pretty heavy on these,
Yeah.
and I've got to get someone to pass it to me, and I've got to get someone to take it off me when I'm finished, because when I get to failure on it, I can't. I've got to drop it, but I'm dropping it from a height, so I need someone to take it off us as well.
Yeah. But I'll give it a go with dumbbells and see how that goes.
Yeah. Are there any others? I'm going to do Laura's, because we did send them in, and I said I would give her some pointers. So if you're doing a pressing movement like this,
Mm-hmm.
what you don't want is for your elbows to be flared out to the sides as much. So you can see the way dumbbells are aligned, they're in a line,
Yeah.
and our elbows are coming right out to the sides. Ideally, from there, what you want to do is bring your arms in, just tuck them in a touch. You don't have to go over the top and bring them to there, but maybe something more like a 45-degree angle. And what that allows you to do is, if you try and come down like that, your shoulder joint will only go so far. You can't drop your elbows in. As soon as you bring your arms in a touch, then you can come right down. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If your elbows are there, you get to there and it's like, I
You get
can't go down.
restricted. Yeah.
Bring them when you can. Phone's actually tough to leave because the camera's on the floor.
Yeah. The lights in the way. Yeah.
But ideally, when you're doing a pull down, you want to bring the bar. You want to be trying to get the bar at least under your chin. And ideally, you want to be just slightly leaning back. You don't want to be pulling back so that you're not using momentum. You're not bending you're not trying to crouch backwards to use momentum to bring the bar down. You actually want to start in a slightly reclining position. So then the angle that the arm's coming down, it's actually pulling this muscle here, pulling with the lats to come down.
Mm.
And you almost want to push your chest up and bring the bar down to your chest. Because what Laura's doing here is she's kind of pulling the bar down in front of her. I'll do Mark. Oh no, Jamie, you've got another one. Beg your pardon. Cable flies. What do you think of these, Jamie? Now that you're watching them,
I think I could probably do with keeping my back a bit straighter rather than move my shoulders forward.
a little bit. What I would maybe do slightly is, again, it's difficult from a floor angle. If I was looking at this from above, the alignment might be perfect. It actually doesn't look that bad. I'm maybe being picky. Whenever you're using cables, you want to try wherever possible to make sure that the points of your the joints in your arm all kind of line up together.
Right, okay.
So that might mean where you've got your arm there, just doing that slightly,
Okay.
so that if you've drawn a line, I'll show you. If you're drawing a line from your hand, your elbow to your shoulder to the top of the cable,
Right.
you almost kind of want everything to be in one line.
Okay. I can do that.
But that may be slightly unfair because if I raised the camera up and I was looking at you from more of an angle, that might be the case. But that's just being ultra picky. But it was more something to be aware of, that when you're using the cable, try and keep all points of, if you're going to use arms, think about where your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist is, and try and keep them all in one line, aligned with where the cable is.
Yeah.
So whether
Okay.
that's a curl, whether that's a press or fly or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, man.
I'm gonna show Claire's now. Over there wondering what I'm saying about that. So again, I would say Claire could probably do with similar advice. We could probably do with bending her elbows a little bit more and bringing them higher up, so that there's a little bit more alignment with where the cable is. At the minute, there's almost pulling the cables underneath our shoulders, like underneath our body, and the way our arms are flaring out when at the stretched part of the rep. If that was any heavier, that could potentially be pulling our arms out a little bit and putting stress in our joints. Yeah. So for someone who's been training a lot of years and knows our stuff, like, everyone can get a little something wrong, or can tweak it and make it better. This is Glenn doing exactly the same. No, it's not. I've put the wrong. This is Glenn doing RDLs. So same as what Clara was doing before. They're actually perfect. Look at Mark deadlift. We're gonna want some feedback on these. You're still doing deadlifts, Jamie.
Yeah, not a massive fan. I think I need to improve my form. I'll send you some videos, but because my back sometimes aches afterwards, and I find it a very uncomfortable movement.
What do we think of these?
Um,
They look
shoulders
good.
are a little bit bent, but I mean, from doing the movement, I know it's really hard to keep your back like perfectly straight. I think maybe I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Would it help wearing a belt doing that?
Worn a belt, and I've not worn a belt, and to be honest, tend not to like wearing things that I think are going to mask something that could be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got to wear something that almost means you have to wear it to be able to do it, then there might have been something wrong in the first place. I would rather do it without those kinds of assistance and feel if something was going wrong and know that I'm doing it wrong.
Okay.
I honestly didn't, when I've done them before, I've never felt any benefit of using them. I can understand why people do them for squats. I think in a squat, they can help you raise your core against the belt as you're breathing to get a little bit of extra power. But for these, I don't think they really offer anything for me anyway. Just have another quick look. So this is a stiff leg deadlift. He's not supposed to be bending his legs on the way down. They're just meant to be kept slightly bent, but to keep your legs stiff. So it's basically just hinging from the hip. I think his back's fairly straight to start with.
Mhm.
Like those first couple of reps are fine, but it does start to round just a little bit. But nothing wouldn't I wouldn't be that picky. It doesn't round that much. I think that's fairly good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Staying looking forwards as well.
towards the last couple, I think he is. He's also
So,
mixing it up with an RDL because he's not dropping it at the end. He's lowering it not quite off the floor and then coming back up, which is a different exercise altogether. Sorry, Jane.
I was just saying he's keeping like the thing that I find when I do these is if I keep looking straight ahead, I find it much easier to keep my back straight, which he's
Yeah,
doing.
yeah, Danny. Next time you do them, Jamie, take a video of them. I'll have a look.
Yeah, no problem.
Because I know that session that we did, I know like that was a slight struggle point, just like arching your back slightly and keeping your bum out. No,
Yeah, I've
that
been
was
practicing.
for, wasn't it?
Yeah. I've been practicing my T-Rex walk in the house like you told us to.
The Jordan Pickford walk.
And we do the rest of Glenn's, since he sent them in, and he'll want to see. So dumbbell preacher curl on a bench. I mean, one great thing that Glenn's doing here is he is actually going right the way down. He's fully lengthening and stretching the bicep. He's taking the dumbbell right down to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
What he doesn't need to do is come so high up. Because if your arm's already at an angle there, once you get to here, you don't need to go any further. Because from there to there, you're basically just resting your arm. It's just balancing. So from there to there, good. You don't need to go any further. You don't need to be doing that. You're essentially at that point you're taking the tension off. One thing we haven't covered yet that we talked about in the call last week is how close people are training to failure. Now, you can see here pretty clearly, he's putting his absolute everything into it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because he knows he's filming himself. So that was pretty good. So if Laura's watching this one, you'll see how Glenn's actually started with a slight lean backwards. And he's not just pulling it straight down in front of him, he's actually pulling it kind of down towards him at a very slight angle. So he's really driving his elbows down and back behind to try and squeeze his shoulder blades together. So that's actually pretty good. And you can tell he's gone as far as he go on that set. Me.
Oh, your favourite.
My favourite bit.
Not at all.
Right. This is what your last rep should look like if you're training hard. Hard to picture, that's why I haven't done it. Bugger. I did have one, I'm sure I have. Don't tell us that was just a picture.
Did you not put it on Instagram as well? You might have it. Because I think you put it in one of your stories, that
Yeah,
exercise.
one of the stories. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
I did. Unfortunately, I haven't downloaded it for here.
I've seen it. You're
No,
virtually glowing by the end of it.
Yeah.
So you know when you're doing the preacher curls, when you are holding it, where is the best place to put your hands?
Your other hand.
No, your hand. So you're not on the
when you're
handles.
gripping the actual handle.
So
Uh-huh.
I get tendonitis in my wrists due to work, and I've found if my hands are closer to the curve in the bar, I get really sharp pains in my wrists. So I've got to move my hands out just
To the
slightly. Yeah, and then I'm not getting the pains in my wrist.
Do what works for you. As long as your hands are on the handle.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter where at all.
Nah. Pick what's comfortable.
Yeah.
With a caveat with going to failure. So there's certain machines where your last rep, if you're going to failure, your last rep, you shouldn't be able to do a last rep. You should be attempting a last rep and you should get a half one or a quarter of a one. And then if that half one doesn't turn into a full one, you know you've gone to failure. And the one before it was your last full rep. Obviously, if you're doing something like this, you've got to have a little bit of common sense of when your last one was, because you don't want to be getting halfway down and halfway back up and then you can't get out of it.
Oh, yeah.
So deadlifts are different. If you pick deadlift up off the floor and you only get it 2 inches and then it goes back down, fine, that's done. But with a squat or a leg press, if you've got a massive amount of weight on that's really heavy for you, sometimes you've got to make a judgment call when that last rep was, just to avoid actually crushing yourself. So I had to be pretty certain when I called it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to go down again and I can't get back up, I'm screwed.
Sigourney Weaver made it look easier in Aliens.
Yeah. It's a good example from Louise. Dumbbell curls. nice and slow on the way down, and she's not cheating by only going 3/4 of the way down. She's literally letting her arm hang by her sides at the bottom,
Very controlled, isn't it?
really controlled. So these are pretty good. And you can see the effort by how slow the last couple of reps are going up.
Yeah.
She did wimp out a bit at the end, though.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Right. I have to leave the sound off this one for Hannah's. But I'm using Hannah as an example. I want to show you what working hard looks like. So if you're ever in doubt, if you're doing leg extensions, if you're not sure if you're training hard enough, watch this.
Oh, bless her.
Feel the burn.
Just because of all the screaming.
Really feel the burn.
I'll do Phil's because he'll watch this back. Actually, not too bad. All I would maybe say on this is for him to slow it down. So as he's pulling it up, it's fine. Maybe when you get to the top, give a very slight moment of pause just to make sure you're squeezing at the top.
Mm.
A little bit slower on the way down, just to make them more deliberate. Other than that, I don't think there's too much wrong with them. You can see when it's getting hard. You just watch the end. He calls the last rep without knowing whether he could have potentially done another one. So you could argue it could have been an attempt at another one, even if he'd only got halfway up. We'll never know.
Mm-hmm.
There could have been one left, there could have been two left. But not bad. That was pretty decent. And then we've got Phil pull downs. And it's slightly hard the angle being from the ground if he's pulling it far down enough, but I think he is because you can pretty much see the bars going below his chin.
Yeah.
And I think it looks like he's leaning backwards. It's difficult to tell. I'd probably need to see another angle. Could maybe let it come further up to a stretch at the top. Maybe he's leaving it a little bit short before he starts pulling it down again. But that's been ultra picky. But otherwise it was decent. Anyone do these ones?
No.
No.
Or
I've seen people doing it in the gym and they look quite painful.
So you put the weight in the back, are you?
yeah. They're a bit weird. They just feel like a very unnatural angle.
Mm.
but they do work quite well. Like once you get right down into the hole at the bottom, like your quads are fully stretched. So there's no shine away from doing the work. Like you've got to do it to push up. Same with the hack squats.
Mm.
Mm.
You're pushing it in there.
Could have done more. Probably went out a little bit. I don't mind admitting if there was more in the tank.
Not one of the
Oh,
hack squat. Like.
do that. A couple of back ones for me, and then I think we're done. This is everything that everyone sent me.
Oh, I hate these.
So you know when you're doing these, you know how your tummy's on that pad at the front. Is your
Yeah.
aim to keep that there?
Yes.
Yeah,
You see how my shoulder is fixed where it is,
yeah,
and all I'm doing is driving my elbow down. I'm not trying to pull it behind us. And what I'm not doing is, as I'm coming down there, I'm not all of a sudden when it gets hard, I'm not doing this. I'm
yeah.
not trying to pull my shoulder back to cheat it back.
Yeah.
I'm actually leaning into it and trying to, as if I'm trying to elbow something underneath us.
Mhm.
Oh, I've seen this video. You put this on.
The only way I can get the weight up is to stand on it and lean back because that's bloody heavy.
What weight you got on there?
120.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that all? Is that just one arm?
Um, Let me know what you think of this. Claire again. I think she's gone to bed.
I think she's got good form, if I'm honest.
Yeah, she has, hasn't she? She's also got a very good back as well.
Got a bloody good back. She's got a very good back. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I told her on that one was, and this depends on what emphasis you want to put on it, but the exercise that she's doing is actually, it's a rear delt exercise. You're pulling your arm in this position backwards, so it's the rear head of your shoulder, the rear head of your delt, which is actually pulling your arm from here to there. It's got
Right.
nothing to do with shoulder blade retraction. So if you're going from here to here,
Mm-hmm.
our shoulder blades should be able to stay relatively in the same position, and it's just our reels that are moving our arms from there to there. The fact that she's dropping our elbows and then pulling our arms behind her means that she's pulling our shoulder blades together. You've got scapular retraction as well as rotation of the shoulders. So what I said to her on that one is, you're actually turning that into an upper back exercise because you're pulling your shoulder blades together. You're actually starting to bring in your rhomboids and your traps, which
Right.
if you you can see everything squeezing together there,
Mhm.
like all the muscles here
Mm-hmm.
in that upper back. That's getting moved more because she's dropped her elbows and she's pulling backwards and pulling her shoulder blades together. Now not necessarily a bad thing if that's the exercise that she wants to do and those are the muscles that she wants to use.
Mhm.
But the exercise that she's doing there is supposed to be to do our rear delt, which is actually this bit, just this bit here.
Okay, yeah.
So to there, she doesn't need to pull her shoulder blade back. It just needs to go from there to there. You know when people use the pec deck and
Yeah,
they get on
mate.
it forward and you grab it there and you pull it that way.
Yeah.
You'll often see people overextend. They'll pull out and the arms are swinging behind them. And there's
That's
absolutely,
what I say to you. You don't have to do that.
you're literally from there, just coming to there. That's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
You have to go back. You don't have to swing your arms all the way back. It's literally there to there. And that's it. But it's a similar concept on the cables. You could argue, well, okay, but I want to bring everything back and I want to squeeze my shoulder blades together because I want all my upper back to do. But then I would argue, if you want to do an upper back exercise, there's better ones to do than using cables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or there's a better way of using cables to do that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you know when on the pec deck when you are doing it the other way, so you're bringing it forward,
Yes.
how far back should your arms go? So you know how you've got the little notches at the top.
Just the arm.
Does the arm sometimes my arms come, I don't know if they're coming too far back. I'll video it on tomorrow when we're there. So you can
When are
have
you
a
there?
look. It'll be about 7:15.
All right. I'll be gone by then. I'm in a tea time tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
So again with your pec deck fly where you're there,
Yeah.
again you want to keep everything aligned. So as you're coming out, you kind of want your shoulders, your elbows, and your hands to be in alignment.
Mhm.
You're almost
Right.
doing like a bear hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Once you start dropping your elbows down and you come back, then you're putting your shoulder in an awkward position. So
Uh-huh.
you kind of try and keep it more like that. Do you know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
about how far back her elbows are going. It's like on the machine, like sometimes it goes back too far, doesn't it?
You don't need to keep your arms straight. If you keep your arms too straight and you come back,
Yeah.
then you're going to put a lot of stress through your bicep because that's going to be pulling. So
Mhm.
actually, you can start straight, and then as you come back, you can allow your elbows bend a little bit. Your elbows can come back, but again, just watch this alignment as you do it.
Yeah.
But go back as far as your shoulder will allow, as long as you're working your pecs, right? So your pec attaches in the middle of your chest, and then it goes across under your into your armpit, under your shoulder, and it attaches on the top half of your arm, this bit here. So regardless of what everything from here to here is doing, imagine you've got no elbows and forearms. All your chest is doing is it's pulling your upper arm towards you and almost in a circular action from below.
Right.
So as your elbows coming back, whatever feels comfortable for you, and it's stretching your chest. Once you get that stretch in your chest and it feels nice, that's it. You can stay there. But then how much you bend your elbows will place more or less stress on your bicep. If you've got your arms out too straight and you've got a lot of weight on it and you're coming back, it's going to put a lot of strain all the way through your arm. But you want it on your chest. So the way to put it more on your chest and off your bicep is to bend your elbow a bit.
Okay.
Do a video of it.
Mhm.
The other thing people do on pec deck is they'll start from here, they'll pull it in, and then it'll get hard, and then they'll lean forward.
Lean
So
forward.
they're not in the shoulders.
Yeah.
So they'll
Yeah.
come back and then they'll go, and the shoulders come forward. The way you can stop that is shift your bum forward in the seat. Sit in the seat, put your back on the backrest, and then just slide your bum forward a couple of inches. So you're actually leaning backwards against the backrest.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah,
you're leaning
like-
backwards on it,
Yeah.
you can't go forward. You can only go
Yeah.
in that line. And then you're
Okay.
actually in the perfect position. It was the first thing I did with Hannah because she used to do it quite a lot. And as
Mhm.
soon as I said shift your bum forward, line back a bit, you literally can't cheat because you're pinned backwards. It just fixes your form straight away. You can't physically come forward and do that.
Okay.
I think we've done them all. Yeah, we have. I think we've done them all.